to 10 districts instead of 8 and draw it in such a way that we increase the percentage of Hispanics in District 2, we may very well not have a Hispanic on the city council, a city that is already a third, 35% Hispanic. We may not have a Hispanic. That's the practical ramification of what is possible with a city charter. The charter is the one that says how many districts we're supposed to have. Back in July, City Council appointed an advisory committee and told them, look at various issues in the city of Fort Worth and decide what we should put before the voters in May of 2016. The advisory committee, the city council, don't make the decision of what gets approved for the city charter. It would have to be the voters in May of 2016. Back about 3 months ago, numbers of individuals, and I came here about 3-4 months ago, and organizations, chief among them the United Hispanic Council, started getting some support to go to the public hearings of this advisory committee and recommended that we go to 10 districts, that we increase the pay, because we know that serving on the city council is pretty much more than a full-time job. And unless you have a lot of extra income from somewhere, or a boss who will give you full-time off to go work in the city council, a low or moderate income person is not going to be able to serve on the council. So 2 things were pushed for, and the task force has made the recommendation that we go to 10 districts, that the pay be increased to $45,000 for council members and $60,000 for the mayor. The city council is considering these recommendations, but has not made a decision. They are having 2 public hearings on January 12th and January 26th at 7 o'clock. The public hearings need the support of Hispanics to show up, indicate to the council either by your presence or by speaking in favor of 10 districts and increased pay. But we need support. There's some information on your desk or your tables. The mayor and city council have indicated that if the voters approve going to 10 districts in May of 2016, they want to wait until after the 2020 census to implement it, which would mean that it would be 2023 before we could then have districts under a 10-district plan. Again, it is very possible that Sal Espino can lose in 2017. He was within, somebody help me out, with about 100 votes?
26 votes exactly.
Thank you. Alliance and that area north, in just 2 years, they're going to gather more than those 26 votes. So there are some, including the United Hispanic Council, who are saying to the mayor and council, and at this point, Espino doesn't have any support, saying that if approved to go to 10 districts, it should be implemented with a redistricting process in 2016 with implementation in 2017. So there's that real possibility that for about 6 years we might not have a representative. And of course it's not a done deal that in 2023 the districts get drawn well to have a Hispanic here in Northside and hopefully a Hispanic in Southside. Let me mention one other thing. United Hispanic Council. I spoke with Fernando Flores yesterday, and he told me that he was, and I think there's some flyers in the back, United Hispanic Council is calling for a rally before the city council meeting next Tuesday, beginning around 6 o'clock, and they're going to try to get some press out. So come to the public hearing, sign up to speak. If you do so, you need to show up before 6:45 to sign up, and or come to the press conference that they're having before the meeting, before the city council meeting. And by the way, I looked at the city council agenda, and the public hearing part on charter review is at the very end of the council meeting. So even though the council meeting starts at 7, it could be 9, 10 o'clock. Sometimes you just have to be patient, take something else to read, take your iPad and write some emails, right? You know. So.
Any questions?
Under the charter, is it feasible to rewrite the districts without the census? And if so, how's that done?
The charter only stipulates how many districts there will be. That's just purely in the charter. Separate and apart from that, Department of Justice and other regulations outline what's required for the redistricting. But typically the redistricting is done after the census, which occurs every 10 years. However, the Supreme Court has ruled and does allow inter-census redistricting using the most reliable figures are the census, but the American Community Survey does do some estimates, and it can be allowed. It is allowed. It has happened in other places.
A question for you. You mentioned that each district runs about 100,000 or so. If you go to 10, will it still be 100,000? I mean, a million people, or how are you going to redistrict that to research the numbers to make the numbers fit into the new paradigm?
As the population increases, the number in each district will always be going up. So initially, 800,000 people, 10 districts, it'd be 80,000. A key is that always continuing going forward, each district would have 20% fewer people in it that a particular councilman has to represent. So at some point in the future, it'd be 25,000, 30,000 less. It would always be 20% fewer residents.
Thank you. By the way, I also served with the Charter Review Committee in Dallas, and that's where we went from 8 city government districts to 14. And that's how we were able to get Latino representation. There's two ways to divide political power. One is you have to take it from somebody. That means you unseat a city council member and then try to make that district, and they never vote for that. The other one is just to expand the pie, make the pie bigger, and that usually works, so that's what I would recommend.
But how much was 100? The mayor and the councils?
When I was a council member, it was $50 a meeting.
No, but
But they changed it, now it's 65,000.
for the council?
Right now,
And the mayor makes how much?
I think 85? Go ahead.
See, okay.
right now, in Fort Worth,
25.
the mayor gets $29,999. Council members get $25,000. So essentially, what's being recommended is a doubling.
Because I think it should be higher than this.
If citizens and some others that went said at least double or more, the task force is recommending 45,000 and 60,000.
And just so you know, the system is rigged. I know you're running for state representative, you make $600 a month as a state representative. Okay?
Actually, 700, the big bucks now.
700, okay, we got a raise. And then a per diem when you're in session. But the system was rigged for the, sort of the wealthy elites who would give public service. If you were a banker, a CEO, and then you would give your service to the school board. But it wasn't, they didn't want regular people. They didn't want a postman, or a construction worker, a teacher, a fireman to be in elected office because they couldn't afford to. And that's why the pay is so important, is just to kind of level the playing field. So somebody, regular people can run and they can serve. So it's important to go to those meetings. They are long, they are kind of boring, they are kind of tedious, but they need to hear our input. All right, with that, that was the last of our speakers. We're now open for community announcements. Any community announcements come out? All right, you go first.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Tony Vasquez. How's everybody doing today? Good, good. I like to see all this enthusiasm. But yeah, they're right about everything being rigged. I'm going to tell you something. I did the fiestas downtown, Cinco de Mayo, the Latin Fest, Fiestas Patrias, and here recently you're going to be doing the 51st annual parade, Mexican Independence Day parade. But we do need support, just like everybody else. We do need the Hispanic population to know what is really going on behind closed doors. I've been putting on these shows. It's going to be the 26th year as far as Cinco de Mayo. Each year we go against the city fathers, Bass Hall, the Bass Brothers, Hilton people, attorneys, Ruth Chris Steakhouse, always wanting us out of downtown. Okay, they say our fiestas are an eyesore. They say that the Mexicanos leave graffiti all over the walls. This is being recorded. Everything that we got is being recorded. It's going to be seen. It's being saved. Okay, so we got nothing to hide. I want everybody to see this. It's going to be published on social media, YouTube, Facebook, wherever. But anyway, they have been wanting us out of there because of what they say that we're, like I said, we leave the streets dirty. Besides the graffiti, we leave trash all over the streets. None of that is true. Because we wouldn't be getting the permits every year. Okay, so we put them in their